Hello, guys. Welcome back again to another episode of Midnight Confession Stories. So, our story for today goes like this. I was 9 years old when my mother told me to lie. She didn't scream, she didn't threaten me. She just sat on the edge of my bed and said, "Baby, if you love me, you will say exactly what I tell you." That's how it started. My stepfather wasn't perfect, but he wasn't cruel. He worked long hours. He barely spoke. He kept to himself. My mother hated that about him. She used to say he was cold, that he didn't appreciate her, that he was hiding something. One night, I woke up shouting, not unusual, but this time I heard something break, a glass, a plate. Then I heard my name. "Wake her up," my mother yelled. I stayed in bed, frozen. A few minutes later, she came into my room. Her hair was messy, her lip was bleeding. She looked terrified. "He hit me," she whispered. I remember feeling confused because I hadn't heard him hit her. I hadn't heard him even got close to her. But I was 9. And when your mother is crying, you believe her. The police came that night. Blue and red lights filled my room through the curtains. An officer knelt in front of me and asked, "Did you see him hit your mom?" I looked at my mother. She gave me the smallest nod. Just once, I said yes. I didn't understand what that yes would do. I didn't understand courts or jail or consequences. I just wanted my mom to stop crying. He went to prison 7 years because of one word from a child. Yes. At first, my mother acted relieved. She told everyone she had survived abuse. People brought her food, flowers, support, since she was the victim. And I was the brave child who spoke up. But something didn't feel right because after he was gone, the house was quiet, too quiet. No more arguments, no more broken plates, no more fear. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. If he was the monster, why did everything feel calmer without my mother starting fights? When I was 13, I found something. I was looking for an old photo album in my mother's closet. Instead, I found a journal. It shouldn't have read. I shouldn't have read it, sorry, but I did. And what I read made my stomach drop. One entry said, "If he won't leave, I will make him leave." Another said, she will say what I tell her. She always does." My hands were shaking. I kept flipping pages. "I can't live like this anymore. I need him gone." Gone. Not divorced, but gone. That night, I confronted her. I asked, "Did he really hurt you?" She didn't even hesitate. Yes. But her eyes shifted. And that was the first time I realized something. My mother lies easily. He got out of prison when I was 16. I didn't know until I saw him at the grocery store. He looked older, smaller somehow. He saw me, and instead of anger, he just looked sad. He didn't approach me, he didn't yell, he just walked away. That hurt more. 2 weeks later, I got a letter. No return address. Inside was a single page. It says, "I forgave you the moment it happened. You were just a child. I hope one day you tell the truth." I couldn't breathe. He knew. He always knew. I've lived with this secret for 10 years now. My mother still tells the story at gatherings. about how she survived, about how brave I was. People still look at me like I saved her. They don't know I destroyed him. Because here is the truth. I never saw him touch her. Not once. And deep down, I think she hit herself that night. I've thought about going to the police, about telling the truth, but what happens then? Page worry, false testimony, prison time. My mother will go to jail. Maybe me too. And for what? To fix something that already stole 7 years from a man's life. The worst part, my mother doesn't feel guilty, not even a little. Last month she said, some men deserve what they get. I wanted to scream because he didn't. He didn't deserve it. I just wasn't brave enough to say no. And now I live with this. An innocent man lost 7 years because a 9-year-old girl wanted her mom to love her. And sometimes I wonder if I have children, will I tell them what I did? Or will I bury it like my mother taught me to do? If or will I bury it like my mother taught me to do? So, eh, this is a sad story, guys. From Anonymous, let's help here because she will continue to live with this thing in her heart forever. So I don't know what you are going to say in the comment section, guys. Let's help a sister. She needs our help so that she can continue with her life. Let's give her advice in the comment section. Let's comment down below. So today I have two confessions. The second one from Anonymous also goes like this. I was 16 the night my brother ran away. That's the word my parents use. Ran away. Like he packed a bag, like he made a choice, like he left us, but he didn't. And I've been living with that lie for 12 years. My brother Daniel was 2 years older than me. He wasn't perfect. He had a temper. He argued with my dad a lot, but he wasn't reckless. He wasn't the type of to disappear without telling me. We shared everything. He used to say, if anything ever happens in this house, we'll live together. That night, we didn't live together. It was a Thursday. I remember because I had a math text the next morning. I was in my room pretending to study when the shouting started downstairs. It wasn't unusual. My father and Daniel argued often, mostly about control, about respect, about how Daniel was ungrateful. But that night was different. The yelling wasn't just loud, it was violent. I heard something slam against the wall, glass shattering, my mother crying. Then Daniel shouted something I will never forget. I'm not scared of you anymore. And then a crash and silence. Not normal silence, heavy silence. The kind that makes your ears ring. I waited in the room for what felt like hours, but it was probably only minutes. No more shouting, no footsteps, nothing. Then I heard the garage door open. I looked through my bedroom window. I could see the driveway. My father was dragging something heavy toward the track of his car. I couldn't see clearly in the dark, but I saw Daniel's sneakers, white with a red stripe. They were they were the only pair he owned. My father closed the truck and drove away. He came back around 3 a.m. I didn't sleep. At 6 a.m., my mother knocked on my door. Her eyes were sullen. She didn't look at me directly. Daniel left, she said. Just like that. He packed a bag and left during the night. He said he needed space. I stared at her. Where is he? He didn't say. That was the moment I knew Daniel would never leave without telling me. Never. When they both left the house later that morning, I went downstairs. The living room looked normal, too normal. The broken lamp was gone, the rug was different. But when I walked into the garage, I saw it, a dark stain near the drain. It had been washed, but not well enough. I just stood there staring at it. My hands were shaking so badly, I had to lean against the wall. That's when I heard my mother behind me. You shouldn't be in here. Her voice wasn't angry, it was afraid. Then that afternoon, my father sat me down at the kitchen table. He didn't yell, he didn't threaten. He just looked at me and said, families protect each other no matter what. Then he, then he slid Daniel's phone across the table. The screen was cracked. Sometimes people make mistakes, he continued, and sometimes those mistakes have consequences. I couldn't breathe. You understand that, don't you? I nodded because I did. And because I was terrified, there was no police report. When neighbors asked, my mother said Daniel had been struggling and needed time away. When his school called, my father told them Daniel transferred. They even packed some of his clothes into a suitcase and left it on his bed, just in case anyone came over. They created a story and they made me part of it. Years passed, people stopped asking. At family gatherings, there is still an empty chair. My grandmother says he will come back one day. My father always replies, if he wants to. Every time he says that, he looks at me. Not long, just enough. I tried to move out at 18. The night I told my parents I was leaving, my father smiled. That's good, he said. You should build your own life. But later, when we were alone, he added, just remember, some secrets don't stay buried. If people start digging, it wasn't loud, it wasn't aggressive, it was calm. That scared me more. I left anyway. I moved 3 hours away. I changed my number, but you can't outrun something that lives in your head. I have nightmares about that truck closing, about those white sneakers, about the sound of something heavy hitting the floor. For 12 years, I've said nothing because part of me is scared of being wrong, and part of me knows I'm not. Last week, everything changed. I went back home for my mother's birthday. My father is aged. His hair is gray now. His hands shake slightly when he pours a drink, but his eyes are the same, cold, calculating. After dinner, he asked me to help him in the garage. My stomach dropped. The garage floor has been redone, new concrete, but I still know exactly where the stain used to be. He stood there quietly for a moment. Then he said, you've always been the smart one. I didn't respond. He looked at me and added, smart people know when silence keeps them safe. That wasn't advice, it was a reminder. Here is the part that keeps me awake at night. 2 months before Daniel disappears, he, he told me something. He said he was recording my father during their arguments, just in case, he said. I never asked what he meant. After he vanished, I searched his room for weeks. I never found anything. But what if my father did? What if that's why that night went too far? I've thought about going to the police. 12 years later, no body, no evidence. Just a washed floor and a memory of sneakers in the dark. Would anyone believe me? Or would I just destroy what's left of my family? Because here is the truth. I've never said out loud. I don't know if my father meant to kill him, but I know he did something, and my mother knows too. And we've all been pretending. Sometimes I imagine Daniel walking through the door, older, different, but alive. But deep down I know that's just guilt trying to confront me. The last thing he ever said in this house was, I'm not scared of you anymore. And I wonder if that's why I still am. Because I've been scared of 12 years, scared to speak, scared to accuse, scared that if I break the silence, I might not be the only child my parents lose. And if you are watching this, wondering why I am finally talking, it's because my father's health is failing. And secrets don't stay buried forever, especially when someone else in the family starts asking questions. My little cousin asked me last week. I looked at the empty chair, and for the first time, I didn't have an answer. I didn't have an answer for the first time. So, guys, this is our second confession. So, help a brother on what to do about this situation, because he's saying he buried it for 12 years, but he's still guilty. So, let's hear what you think, your thoughts in the comment section. Comment any advice you will be following in the comment section to hear what you guys will be saying. So let's meet on another episode. Bye. Love you.